Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Saturday, the 7th of January. Well, apologies for the video or the late video yesterday. I was actually outdoors and I couldn't record the sound because it's a bit embarrassing where I was, so I couldn't really record the video. But I just showed you the bet that I'd put on. Unfortunately, it didn't quite make a profit, but we did have it in an 11-2 winner, and I can't remember the price of the placed horse. But anyway, let's get into Saturday's bet. So Saturday's bets, I have gone for an each way Canadian with horses that I really like the look of. I've gone for a Luke Morris Trixie and Luke Morris each way Trixie, each way treble. I've gone for a Brendan Powell. He's got a lot of selections, all got cracking chances. So I've also included him in an each way bet. And then I've had a bet where I fancy three horses in one race because I think the favourites or the main protagonists have got doubts about them. And then in another race, I've also gone for, I think it's three outsiders again, where I just think some of the outsiders in the races have got much better chances because it's soft ground or maybe even heavy ground, and the principles aren't really stand out. I think they're weighted up to what they've achieved so far. Yes, they might improve even more, and if so, they may win the race. But if they don't, I think it's a very level playing field. So let's get straight into it. Anyway, I want to put all the selections in the description. So the description, you will have to click on, just below the video, I believe it says show more. And I'll put it right at the top, and you will see every single selection for today. You will also see the football bet. The football bet will more than likely be at the bottom of the description, underneath all the horses, and that comes to a tenner. I believe today's total comes to £30.60. You decide how much you want to put on. I would recommend putting all the bets on, but if you can't afford £30, reduce the stakes accordingly to what suits you. So let's get into it. That's enough waffling. Before I give the selections, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe. If you just subscribe by now if you wanted to. But please like the video for the time I put into it. I know it's not the most professional video, but the studying and the putting the video together actually it takes quite a lot of time. So if you just a quick click of like, that I would really appreciate it. So enough waffling, let's get straight into it. So a 15 pence each way Canadian coming to £7.80, and also an 11 pence each way doubles coming to £2.20, where that totals £10. So the first selection is, bearing in mind I've left all the prices to SP. Half the time with that Skybet, there's no point taking them because they normally drift massively. I have beaten the price massively recently, 33s into 11s and 18 to 1 into 7 to 2, but it doesn't happen that often. So I've left them all to SP. So Phoenix Aquilus in the 12 o'clock at Lingfield, paying 4 places instead of 3. The second selection is the King of May in the 123 at Newcastle, paying 4 places instead of 3. Chirico Vallis in the 3 o'clock at Sandown, paying 6 places instead of 4. The fourth selection is Poseidon in the 3:35 at Sandown, paying 4 places instead of 3. The fifth selection is Kalahari in the 3:43 at Newcastle. So let's go on to the next bet now. The next bet is, I've actually had in total now a 10 pence each way Hines. I've put the bet on again. So in total I've had a 10 pence each way Hines, and these are all Brendan Powell's mounts, or the ones that I like anyway. I think they're all of them. So it's a 10 pence each way Hines. Pedley Wood in the 12:20 at Wincanton. King of Lombardy in the 12:55 at Wincanton. Elixir de Nuts in the 1:30 at Wincanton, paying 3 places instead of 2. Corto the King in the 2:05 at Wincanton, paying 3 places instead of 2. Gorkum Moonshine in the 2:40 at Wincanton, paying 6 places instead of 4. And Dodgem by Design in the 350 at Wincanton, paying 4 places instead of 3. And I've also had the same selections in 15 pence each way doubles. So this one is the 50 pence each way Trixie and a 50 pence each way treble. These three are all Luke Morris mounts. The first selection is Pisanka at 5 to 1 in the 145 at Lingfield. It may be worth, well, you decide if you want to take the price in that, because the Lochnanes have got 2 in the race, and I think if this one isn't the fancied one, it probably will drift, but this one could be much shorter or much longer. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know, so I've taken the price. The second selection is Red Flyer at 7 to 1 in the 220 at Lingfield, paying 3 places instead of 2. The third selection is Pablo Prince at 13 to 2 in the 255 at Lingfield, paying 4 places instead of 3. So let me scroll down to the over 2.5. Right, so here we go. So this is a £6 treble, over 2.5 goals treble, and it's all you need to do. You don't need to pick a team. It's all about the matches. So go to the match and click over 2.5 goals on these matches: the Harrogate versus Colchester match, the Middlesbrough versus Brighton match, and the Cambridge versus Bristol Rovers match. And this is a £6 over 2.5 goals treble. The next bet is the same matches again. It's an over 3.5 goals bet to £2.75. And the final one is the regular over 4.5 goals bet, and it's a £1.25 pence treble, over 4.5 goals treble, same matches. I'll just scroll down. So this bet is just merely 30 pence each way doubles. In the 3 o'clock, I think these 3 horses have got decent chances. They're not huge prices, but they've got decent chances of upsetting the favourites. So in the 3 o'clock at Sandown, I have gone for Coup Star Sivola, Sir Ivan, who came place in this race last year, and Chirico Vallis. So I've left the prices, and I've had 30 pence each way doubles, but those all go on to, basically, these 3 horses are the outsiders of the lot, or currently they are. So in the 335 at Sandown, Palladium, Tiger Voice, and Poseidon. Select all those and then place them in 30 pence each way doubles. It comes to £5.40. In the first race, if none of them come placed, the bet doesn't roll on. But if one of them wins, you are then shouting, ideally, in the next race for one of the big prizes to win, or at least place, but ideally you want it to win. Right, so that's all the bets. To be honest, that was quite straightforward, so I am not going to put them in the description. All you need to do, just pause the video, because there's an awful lot of bets there. It will take absolutely ages. So you've seen all the selections. As I said, when you put them on, just pause the video. It's so much easier because you've only got to keep referring back to the description anyway. So yeah, pause the video, and ideally you need to put these bets on Skybet, because of the extra place races. Well, the vast majority are extra place races, not all of them. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.